Welcome to Gangway Talks, a podcast by Ampelmann Operations. In this first episode, the conversation is led by Daniel Verskoor, Director of Operations, Ivar Boom, Director of Structural Change, and Boudewijn Visser, Director of Innovations. They share their perspectives on the business and future of the offshore industry, from innovations and operations to navigating change at scale. Let's dive in.
So how do we ensure our gangway systems remain relevant and ESG driven?
ESG driven.
Yeah.
So relevance, I think you touched upon the lifting. I think combination between lifting and people transfer. I think building a wind farm or a offshore facility that requires this quick transition between hoisting, people transfer, lifting a bag and trolley riding. So that's one. And then on the ESG, we're pushing electrical systems. And I think eventually everybody wants a system which can do the same, but with less energy. So I think that is definitely part for the relevance.
And how do we do that with less energy?
We built them with electric power.
Okay.
And you can retrieve all your electric power which you don't use, and with that you save enormous amount of energy.
Yeah.
And if you look at the future vessels, they are more and more hybrid, maybe in the future even battery powered. And then you need to strip down all your energy consumers of the vessel.
Yeah, and try to get them more lightweight as well.
Yeah.
Right?
That definitely helps helps with efficiency.
Yeah. And what is the biggest driver to make sure that we have that electricity decrease?
I think that is a little bit from the market.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big drive within Ampelmann.
Yeah.
To make sure that we pave the way for a more energy efficient offshore operation.
Yeah.
And you see it now also with customers demanding electrical power packs or electrical systems, and it's starting there.
All right. So that's a good development.
And there you see an extra point is that these diesel fumes, you want to get rid of these diesel fumes on board the vessel.
Yeah.
So that is an extra push to go to a full electric system.
The relevance, maybe not on the ESG topic, but for example, if you look at competitors, 24-hour connection.
That's a nice point.
That's a good one, actually.
So you want me to answer that question, Daniel? No, I think you have a big point there. So there is still some regulation that when you are the solely means of escape, then you need to be connected to the vessel or to this offshore facility to be able to evacuate the platform within a couple of minutes. And there you see a regulation that you need to be connected all the time. However, you have a different option, is to put the vessel a little bit next to the platform and that you're able to land a gangway within, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes. And I think that is, on the end, a safer solution. But in the meantime, definitely we will be relevant with supplying 24/7 connections if needed. So what is one operational challenge offshore that is often underestimated, and how are we solving it today?
Maybe I can give one. I've been offshore only a few times. But what I noticed, which I didn't knew before, is operational logistics of personnel, of all the people on board. So we had a project in Trinidad.
You were an operator there.
I was an operator there, A24. And I was used to having operations. It was an oil and gas construction platform. And then it goes on for like 24/7 to make sure that all people are there. But there are 3 or 4 different parties working down there. So a contractor, another subcontractor, another subcontractor. But they didn't align on when people should go from a vessel to the platform. So we were beeped up every 5 to 10 minutes, hey, I want another person being connected. So there was no communication at all. So the vessel had to be in DP and connected all the time. And we need to make I think 50 to 60 connections in one shift. So it's like 12 hours, which is quite a lot. And I was kind of surprised that this is such a big hurdle to take. For me, it's all about communication. And I was kind of surprised by that.
So that means that if you optimize everything, a vessel,
Definitely.
a gangway, the personnel on board, then still you have a lot of delays because of lack of communication.
Lack of communication between different parties that are working on that platform. Really surprised by that.
Yeah, you want to say something?
No, it ties in with what I think is communication is the most difficult part, especially when you look offshore and onshore, when sometimes you need guidance from the onshore team to the offshore team, and communication still is the number one challenge.
So how can we solve that then?
Keep paying attention to the different forms of communication that we have. Be very strict about it. Easy example is, for example, when there is an issue with a team offshore, then you have a team onshore. Up to this point, we still have several people asking questions to the operators here.
At the same time, you mean? So,
at the same time, person A and person B, they talk to operator 1, things get lost.
So there's no single communication line.
For example, so that still happens, even nowadays. And I think the key is keep paying attention to your communication style, your communication protocol, because in the end, that's the most difficult part.
So next to these communication standards or streamlining of this process, are there technical ways of solving it or help solving it?
You can see when you have an issue offshore and you're fully connected, you can solve it maybe in 1 or 2 hours. And when you don't have it, it takes you 3-4 days.
That's a big difference.
That's a completely big difference.
All right.
Okay.
Next one.
I think it's you again.
From your perspective, what does uptime really mean for our clients, and how does Ampelmann help them achieve it?
From your perspective,
From
From your perspective, Ivar.
From my perspective, what's uptime for clients? Uptime, from my perspective, is that whenever a client wants a transfer, that we can provide that. That for me is a client's uptime.
So it's a technical uptime of our system, and if you look a little bit broader for a client uptime, can we broaden our scope then? Can we help them? So I think you explained the uptime from a Ampelmann or a Gangway system. You just explained that there's so much more going on for this client to get this
there's
full
so much.
time.
So there's much more going on. The client actually has a certain time, or when he or she wants to have a transfer from a people or a cargo to a platform. If this person wants to go, then we should be able to provide that. And if we can't do that, then that's actually our loss actually. Same as for the flight time. So if you want to fly out, you want to fly out. But it shouldn't be that hard actually, I think. What is your perspective?
You let me think a little also, that's thanks. No, I think the uptime is for the client a little bit more than the gangway itself, and maybe even in mobilization we can plan more ahead to make it like a roadmap. So we are going to take all these steps together with our client, with our subcontractors. I think maybe if we explain the process even more, then we can create a shorter mobilization time together with our clients. And I think offshore, of course, it helps if our systems are able to function all the time and if we have internet connection to solve issues.
For the client, it doesn't matter what our challenges are. They only matter if we can provide that service.
I also think that in addition to the uptime that we should deliver, system should work. Period.
Period.
Any request that they do to our project managers, which is also a service that we provide, that we can provide that. For example, different landing heights that we didn't come across in the project preparation. Any other questions, operational, that we can provide it right away. I think it broadens the uptime for the client, not just the gangway, but to ease them in the whole project execution.
That's a good one.
And I think that's where we make a difference.
And if you look at Ampelmann Insights, you have these things you do in a day. And I think looking at the full scope of a day, on the end it will help the time a client can spend on their turbine or offshore facility.
So we shouldn't talk about uptime, but more on hands-on tool time for clients in that sense. So the phrase is, offshore wind is in trouble and traditional oil and gas markets are aging. How is Ampelmann responding to these challenges?
Yeah, that's the first question. Is offshore wind in trouble? There could be some glitches in tendering, in pricing of projects, of course. But I think the longer term is not an issue.
No.
Where you see troubles is that the whole supply chain of offshore wind is more expensive than a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's the industry. We need to make sure we get these costs down.
Yeah.
And I think we have a responsibility to help getting costs down, but with the same safety or even higher safety standards and performance.
Yeah.
I think we're working on that, helping that there, but that should be our goal, our focus.
Yeah.
And I don't think wind is in trouble. I think if you calculate all the costs, and basically this is also the deterioration of our planet.
Yeah. You still.
It's an easy conversation. Oil and gas is dying out, polluting the world.
Yeah.
And the wind is the next thing. At this point on the balance sheet it might be costly, but it's not.
And I think an aging oil and gas is also a new market, because for us decommissioning, it still needs to. We say that for years already, that decommissioning is the next big thing, but it's still coming up.
Yeah, so we're doing in Brazil. We do a lot of projects where we help maintaining these old facilities so that they can safely remove them.
Yeah.
I think there will play a role as well. So no, I don't see issues with that. I think it's an opportunity to help in this energy transition, and that's both on wind and on these aging oil and gas platforms.
And we shouldn't forget that Ampelmann has also been founded for the offshore wind, to make sure that we do better.
It's your turn.
In what ways are we pushing innovation beyond the Gangway, and does that matter for our end clients?
So the question for Ivar?
So we have the loon shots. I think that's what you were referring to. So we are trying not only to be a gangway provider, but an offshore access provider. And we try to do a lot of innovations in that spectrum. Referring to that, we have a loon shot, as we call it, a startup within Ampelmann, focusing on delivery of using drones. Well, drone is not an innovation, but I think the service around it, that's something that we can provide. And that's something which is an innovation in offshore, and that's something I think we can excel in. But that's one.
I see some change now, indeed. Now in the.
What do you mean?
With drones being able to carry loads, it could change our business model quite drastically. Mm-hmm. So you can better do it yourself than let others do that. So investing in first cargo drones, I think that is a good step. And if you are able to send parts directly to the nacelle or directly to your turbine, then you don't need everything. Then you can plan in a different way.
And then you need to think about it, because if you don't have it, you have a drone available.
Yeah.
I don't need to think about it anymore. I don't need to plan. That's now what you also hear.
Yeah.
There's the drone, so you just go and figure it out. Don't even think about it. That's the downside.
Yeah, so I think that is a temporary behavior.
Yeah.
I think that will change the logistic in a wind park.
The chance becomes that our clients are also making that behavioral mindset change. Same as with the introduction of the Ampelmann system. It is a change of thinking, and therefore a change of thinking in the way we do logistics offshore, the way we do offshore access offshore.
And it could mean that a W-type in the future, in 10 years, will be a different system than is optimized for current logistics. I think having these discussions with our clients that will make sure that we have the right systems to help our clients get their job done.
What internal change at Ampelmann has had the biggest external impact for our clients?
I think is it OCC? OCC or service desk?
Service desk.
Both. OCC we have already quite some time.
Yeah. And what is the OCC? Because for us it's okay.
It's a hotline, operational control center. Whenever you have a problem offshore, you call the OCC.
Yeah.
I think we have this already for a long time.
Yeah.
We did make a change in demanding. Before it was a task divided on project managers. At one point we had a dedicated team.
Yeah.
So less disruption there. A year and a half we implemented the service desk. So for our sold systems clients, which we tend to address as our rental clients, we now have a separate service desk where they get the right attention for the right price. And that's a shift that we had to do, because they were clients that whenever they call, we would pick up the phone, we would deliver for them the service.
Yeah.
it was part of the package,
Yeah.
but that package now changed. And so has the service.
Yeah.
So with these clients, they may want different services, only the direct service, but maybe they don't need maintenance. They do it themselves with our manuals. That's a shift.
Yeah, so there's a change in mindset of rental and versus a change in mindset of...
And I think but maybe the clients, they don't see it yet. I think the whole centralization of the warehouse
that's a good
and
one.
the different hubs around the world with the same warehouse setup, that would definitely help supplying your spares within...
and that's a transition where you are still in.
So it will be visible for our clients in the future.
So we can better help them locally as well, provide better service.
I think that is a big internal change as well.
Yeah.
What does modularity mean for our customers?
For customers?
Indeed. I can start with answering this one. Because what I see is that we had a E-type and an A-type.
Yeah.
And then you say to a customer, okay, with small waves you need that system, or big waves you need that system. And I think in the future, if you need height adjustability, but with low waves, then you take an F-type on a tower, for example. So we now can start Legoing with our customers to get the right setup.
Modularity, or is that
Portfolio.
enriching your portfolio?
Yeah.
Now I see it as modularity. A big part of a system development is the software. And there's one software around across all your different products, and you can more easily pick and choose your modules, and then you have a quicker time to market for a system. And that, I think, is beneficial for our customers. I took a new card, and it's quite an interesting one. How do you balance innovation with reliability, especially when clients expect proven solutions? So we have that
modularity.
case. Yeah, so that is...
That's the answer.
That could be the answer. But we had this case with the F-type.
Yeah.
So you were in... maybe you want to tell it.
It requests some explanation skills from our project teams.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. Clients, they don't want to see new things. They do want to have new things, but they want to make sure it works. I think we have a very, very good case, for example, with the F-type, where we already proven the technology for ourselves, but to explain it to the client is another skill.
Yeah, because they want a proven track record, but obviously you don't have one. So how do we do that?
We do.
Yeah, okay, but not for an F-type, because the F-type is not there yet.
That's where your explanation comes in.
Yeah. So how do we do that with the W-type?
I think there was one client which had a lot of trust in us in supplying a new system. And I think, we are at the time very grateful that they took that first step to develop with us a new system.
Yeah.
And some clients, they are more eager to do that than other clients.
Yeah. And these are valuable.
And they are very valuable.
Yeah.
And we have a good relation with these clients, especially on innovation.
Yeah.
There should not be a balance. I think we need to aim for both. And our whole technical setup is trying to reach both.
Referring to a previous question, I think in addition to this question, a big internal change is that we now have the project board.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have a new system to be developed by innovation, I think several years ago it was the innovations team themselves.
Yeah.
And now we have a project board in charge, which has also somebody from operations and from business development. And I think that also allows it to be more reliable in the field.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a mindset. If you deadline or if you handover is at the factory acceptance test, the FAT.
Yeah.
Or if your mindset is at the first safe transfer, that is a big difference. So with the new setup, the first transfer, that is your point where you're working towards.
What would you say to a client who sees our system as just a gangway?
Good one. No, I think what we say to our clients is that we provide a service, not a product. So I think what Ampelmann stands out is that we are selling a transfer. And apart from that, we are selling the safety around the transfer and everything around it. So whenever clients have questions, they can reach out to us. We have a big operational and BD department. We make sure that we have the most safest system, that we, whatever they're asking for, that we can provide that. Everything in that scope of offshore access. So we do the maintenance of the system, we have our own people, we can train their people. We make sure that people know about our service, and they know how to safely transfer. I think everything around, that's something that we sell. So we sell a service and not a product, and not just a gangway.
I tend to agree with you. And for some clients, it's just a gangway.
That's true.
And maybe that is a compliment. It's one of our pieces, mission equipment on board.
Yeah.
It's just a gangway.
Yeah.
And the rest is up to us to make it happen.
Yeah.
Maybe that is okay.
Looking 3, 5, 10 years ahead, what role do you see Ampelmann playing in the future of offshore access?
It's on not just the gangway, I think. In the whole offshore access scope, I think coming back to the drones, but also to your service story. If you look at the wind farm, it's a logistic challenge.
Yeah.
So you need to look at the whole logistic chain to optimize there. And only then you can lower costs. So I think there will play a bigger role to help our clients decrease costs there.
What is one misconception about offshore access or Ampelmann's role in it? What would it be? That we were the first one?
That's true, actually.
It's a nice misconception, indeed.
Yeah, it is.
Because we weren't?
No.
We weren't, no.
We bought the company which was first, so then maybe we are first.
That makes us officially the first then? Yeah.
If you want to buy a new car, you always say you're too expensive.
Yeah.
On the end, I think we need to give the right value for the right price.
Maybe more in line with not misconception, but do we have the right discussion in offshore access? So everybody's talking about, for instance, wave heights, but it's not about wave heights. It's more about workability.
I think that is also a
That's
nice.
a really good one. We have a very weird revenue model. We get paid by the day, but why not paid by workability? But that's a whole different discussion we need to have in the offshore access. I think that's.
I would be happy to.
I would really be happy if we have that discussion instead of thinking in days. Actually, what have we learned from a recent offshore project that challenged our usual operations or innovations? Not the most recent one.
No, preparation is key.
Preparation is key. Yeah. Why do you say that?
Planning is useless, but something like that. But every plan is critical. You always will end up in difficult situations, unplanned for. And that's why the more you prepare, the more you are in a good position to handle those challenges.
Yeah.
We know how to solve things, and we want to. But if the process somewhere stops, I think that is another example on your planning and preparation.